Hi, welcome to episode number 7 of Beesler's Book Buzz. I'm Jeff Beesler, author of science fiction, fantasy, and horror books. And let's just get right into it. I got a couple tidbits of news for you. First of all, there's a major lawsuit going up against Meta from some major publishers, including Hatchet and some others. Apparently, Meta's been using literary works to train its language model. And the Meta AI. So these publishers are going after them in a big way, and it's like, okay, that's interesting. And then the other big news that is happening today for May 12th, 2026 is the release of Book 8 of Dungeon Crawler Carl, A Parade of Horribles. This is the lit RPG series that has taken the world pretty much by storm. We've had the genre on the map. It's written by Matt Denman, and yeah, I'm planning on getting it myself. Uh, I have I've read the first 6 books in the series. I'm finishing up book number 7, and I will review that as soon as I'm done. And I'm looking forward to number 8. So yeah, so those are the 2 bits of news that got going on in the news feed. Now on to something that actually happened to me at the day job. Now, as an author, I try to keep my author job and my uh, day jobs separate from one another. I try not to let my day job, interfere with my author job, except I guess I don't always succeed in that because some stuff I write about, like especially with the first book of the Men of Misfit series, was inspired in part due to fast food, but I digress. Anyhow, the point I'm trying to make here is that I was trying to keep the day job going. I work in fast food, and I'm just trying to go about my day. And somebody came through and pretty much brought a stop to the whole process because they started asking me about my books out of the blue, and I was just like, okay, this is interesting. Why is this happening? And then it turns out that I apparently gave him signed copies of my Interstellar Dad book to them some time ago, and his son loves Interstellar Dad series and loves comics, and and the guy was talking about Comic Cons and maybe someday making Interstellar Dad into a comic book series, which I'm like, okay, that's interesting. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And then he also proceeded to ask me if my books had ever made it into Barnes and Noble yet. And I'm like, nah, they haven't. He's like, well, I got an order form right here, and I can, know, touch base with you and talk about it, get some more. And like, okay, that's cool. And it's like, and he asked me if I had a publicist yet, and I'm like, no. I was like, well, you do now. And the conversations were very flattering. I mean, I'm trying to want to like not take up too much time because there's other people behind him in the line and stuff like that. So yeah, but he got me thinking that, it's possible that my books will end up in bookstores. I've always been kind of a print on demand kind of author, so I really didn't have much vision as far as whether or not to get them in the bookstores and whatnot, because bookstores have limited spacing, and there's so many titles out there, so many books, and of course, it doesn't help that with the advent of AI, there's a whole flood more of books coming out and titles, and not all those. I'm not going to talk too much about the AI stuff, but it's it's very competitive. It's we got so many things as authors to try and you know get the attention. It's this is like an attention economy, or I think that's what I wanted to say. Yeah. And attention spans are much shorter than they were 10, 20, 30 years ago, whatnot. So that's definitely something to take into consideration. So I've always been like a print on demand, I've done the audiobook things for some of them, and I've never really let myself get too carried away with my expectations. I mean, would it be nice to see my books turn into a movie someday? Sure, why not? But I am just as happy listening to the audiobooks and be like, oh, I can't believe I wrote this. And the fact that an audiobook narrator would take the time to, you know, put in their own distinctive voice in there into the storytelling process and breathe new life into the characters. That's incredible too. So I'm very happy with that. But yeah, this guy coming through and just talking about my books and whatnot, it's got me thinking, maybe I can actually go the distance and do this writing thing, which I already plan on doing. I know I'm going to be writing books until the day I'm no longer on this planet. There's something about the reassurance there that just really made my day. And and I spent the rest of the day pretty much feeling like I was on cloud nine. And it's always nice to hear when my writing, my books, I made that kind of impact. I just, I can't wait to hear more about this. And hopefully I see the guy again soon, and maybe come back to my drive line. Maybe he'll look me up on jeffbeaslebooks.com, which is my website. So I told him to, use the contact form on the website to touch bases with me. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, that conversation is like renewed a spark in me, which I think I desperately needed. It's the past couple of years have been like, you know, I'm trying to avoid the doom scrolling and whatnot, but it's so hard to not hear all this stuff, trying to drag you down and whatnot. So, anyhow, that's all I have for Beesler's Book Buzz this week. I'll be back next week. I'm gonna try and, do better with whole posting on Tuesdays and I pretty much figured that if I just do the same very first thing when I wake up on Tuesday morning, I can actually get it done instead of letting time squander or letting myself get distracted by things like Legend of Zelda. Anyhow, thank you everybody for tuning in. I appreciate everybody. Matt, Mark, I know you guys have been following my stuff and watching my videos and supporting the Beasler's Book Buzz. So I wanted to give a quick shout out to you guys. You guys are part of my community, and I can't thank you enough for supporting me in my endeavor. And I cannot wait to you know keep on going down this path. So thanks everybody for tuning in. I will talk to you again soon. Have a wonderful day. Take care. Bye bye.